Merhabalar ve bu videoya hoş geldiniz. Hello and welcome to this video on verbal nominalizations. İsim fiiller. As you can see on the screen here, we have the formula for verbal nominalizations for both verbs and for nouns. So on the top, we have the formula for fiiller, verbs. When do you use this? And let's look at the meaning and the form. Kitap okuduğu. You must have another verb after this. Kitap okuduğunu. Perhaps görüyorum. So what does this mean? I see that you are reading a book. You could take out this kitap and just have okuduğunu görüyorum. I see that you are reading. The important part to remember here is duk, which becomes du, right? Because it softens to a yumuşak ge. This duk means that or which. So the nice thing about this is you can use it for testimonies. When you say, I know that the prophet is a prophet of God. I know that Jesus lives. For example, the first sentence that I said, peygamberin Tanrı'dan gelen bir peygamber olduğunu biliyorum. So here we could change this to ol, and then we can change this to bil, and there you have it. I know that whatever is here is. So whatever verb is here, you could say yaşa. For example, İsa'nın yaşadığını, and then you have to change this to the vowel harmony for yaşa. İsa'nın yaşadığını biliyorum. I know that, remember, that lives Jesus. This also, by the way, needs to be possessive. Just like with verbal nouns, you possess the verbal noun. So you can't possess a verb, right? I can't say my go, my walk, right? My verb. You can't really possess an action, but you can possess a noun. So that's why we need to make the verb into a noun before we possess it. And that's what this duk, dik, duk, or duk does. Yaşadık creates a verbal noun. It nominalizes this verb yaşa. Yaşadık. So now you can possess it. I know that Jesus is living. And Jesus owns that living. It's his living now. Okay, maybe this will become clear with more examples. On this video, we'll focus on doing verbal nominalizations with verbs, so this top one, and let's talk about a little bit more about meaning and form before we jump into examples. So just like above, kitap okuduğu, you have duk, and then you have the possession. Maybe it's sen. I see that you are reading a book. Then you need to, whatever this verb likes for as a case, you need to put it here. So that's why durum or case is written here. So here we would put nu. So senin kitap okuduğunu biliyorum. Down here, I see that he is reading a book. We start from the end and translate towards the beginning, right? And you could also have a ben here if you really want it. And we'll put that in parentheses to show that it is optional. Both of these are optional, right? But to specify ben, so I am seeing, accusative when you use the word to see. And then it's possessed because it's his. And we have the duk, that read a book. And I mean, if you want this object here, you can have it, but this could be the whole sentence right here. I am seeing that he's reading. And this looks like sen, right? So you don't know, just with the N, you don't know if it's sen or o or onlar, right? So you kind of probably do have to specify that it's onun or senin, okay? Usually. And just like we already talked about, you always use iyelik, possession, with verbal nominalizations and verbal nouns for that matter. It's never to be, okay? You never want to say okuduksun or something like that. So let's go over benim, senin, onun, bizim, sizin, onların. Okay, benim. That I am reading, okay? Okuduğum, that you are reading. Okuduğun, that he is reading. Okuduğu, that we are reading. Okuduğumuz. So nothing of okuduğuz, okay? It's okuduğumuz. Sizin, that you guys are reading. Okuduğunuz. And that they are reading. Okudukları. And then probably 90% of the time you'll have a case on these. So you might put accusative. If someone sees that I am reading, okuduğumu görüyorsun. You see that I am reading. Okay, okuduğunu görüyorsun. You see that you are reading. Okuduğunu görüyorsun. You see that he, she, or it is reading. Okuduğumuzu, okuduğunuzu, and okuduklarını, just with a buffer letter N. Okay, spending sufficient time on meaning and form. I just wanted to make sure the meaning is clear with this. With verbal nominalizations, like with this that, with duk, dik, or duk, it kind of looks like the past tense, right? So if you were to say, I read, you'd say ben okudum. You basically just expand it to make it verbal nominalizations, right? So you have ben okudum. Now if you want to make it verbal nominalizations, ben okudum. Make it possessive, benim okudum, okay? But with meaning, it's either in the past or the present tense. So you can use this for in the past tense, like, I see that you read. Senin okuduğunu görüyorum. So it's kind of hard to know sometimes what the meaning is because it can mean past or present. For example, you could say, I know that Jesus went to the Americas. Ben İsa'nın Amerikalara gittiğini biliyorum. Which, since we're talking about history, right, if you're generally talking about the past tense, you know that it's the past tense. So that would mean, I know that Jesus went and not, I know that Jesus is going. All right, let's get into examples and actually practice this. One thing stressed a lot in the MTC is the importance of practicing out loud. You need to practice out loud so your voice and your mouth and your muscles can start getting this muscle memory of how these words feel when they're flowing out of your mouth. So let's use the word biliyorum for now. Biliyorum, I know. So remember your form. You start with possessive, and then the first verb, dik, the case, and whatever other verb you want to use. In this case, we're going to use biliyorum, I know. Okay? So for example, for this, I would like you to say, I know that Jesus is healing. Okay. It would be İsa'nın iyileştirdiğini biliyorum. Remember, bil always uses the accusative case. İsa'nın iyileştirdiğini biliyorum. And if you wanted, you could say that he is healing the man. You could say, İsa'nın adamı iyileştirdiğini biliyorum. What about this? I know that Jesus is knocking at the door. Or, I know that Jesus knocked at the door. I know that Jesus knocks at the door. Ready for the answer? This is how I would say it. İsa'nın kapıya çaldığını biliyorum. Alright, what about this next one? You could use vaftiz olmak or vaftiz etmek. Try it on your own. So some possible answers for this. İsa'nın vaftiz olduğunu biliyorum. Or you could say, vaftizci Yahya'nın İsa'yı vaftiz ettiğini biliyorum. What verb might you want to use with this? So we're using biliyorum, right? But what's the other verb? I know that what? You could say this baby is happy. Bu bebeğin mutlu olduğunu biliyorum. Okay. Evlenmek, to get married. Evlenmek. Try it on your own. Yaşlı Rendlund'un evlendiğini biliyorum. Let's go back to the meaning and form example we used with reading, right? How would you talk about this picture? This is how I would say it. Genç hanımın okuduğunu biliyorum. I know that this girl, young woman, is reading. Or you could say, I am seeing that she's reading. Genç hanımın okuduğunu görüyorum. Görüyorum. Alright, what about this? This is how I might say it. Bu adamların üşüdüğünü görüyorum. Or bu adamların üşüdüğünü biliyorum. I could also say, I think that these men are cold. Bu adamların üşüdüğünü düşünüyorum. Let's look at a few more. We're almost done. Hang in there with me. Verbal Nominalizations is going to be a little bit long of a ride, and it'll be so worth it. Because once you learn verbal nominalizations in Turkish, you're basically done. So, alright, what's a verb you might want to use for this? And if you want to use an adjective, just use olmak. Like for example, mutlu olduğunu görüyorum. I see that he is happy. Or that he is a prophet. Peygamber olduğunu biliyorum. Okay, maybe you could say, bu adamın peygamber olduğunu biliyorum. You could say, I see that he is sitting. Bu adamın oturduğunu görüyorum. Maske taktığını görüyorum. That he's wearing a mask. That he is spiritual. ruhsal olduğunu biliyorum. Okay, go for this one. All right, if you're ready, if you're not ready, of course, always pause your video and take enough time to practice on your own. Make up some of your own sentences, use this grammar and practice it. But if you're ready for a possible answer, you might say, Peygamberin yalvardığını görüyorum. Or you can say, Peygamberin bizim için yalvardığını biliyorum. How would you describe this picture? Or you could even use the word düşünmek. I think that Jesus is explaining, and I think that the man is rejecting him. All right, here we go. İsa'nın sevindirici haberi anlattığını düşünüyorum. Ve bu genç adamın onu reddettiğini düşünüyorum. Okay, last example. Try saying, the man knows that Jesus lives, or the man knows something about Jesus. The man knows that Jesus is his savior. All right, here's how I would say those things. Adam İsa'nın yaşadığını biliyor. Adam İsa'nın kurtarıcısı olduğunu biliyor. That'll be it for this video. Just like I said, we went over verbal nominalizations with verbs. In the next video, we'll go over verbal nominalizations with nouns. Just to summarize what we've talked about in this video, we talked about the meaning and the form, how you formulate this, that it needs possession, it needs a verb, it needs duk, and sometimes a buffer letter, but it needs to be possessed here. It needs usually to have a case if this verb here wants a case. And then we also talked about the meaning, that it can be used for past or present or aorist tense. And we practiced lots of examples. Try applying this on your own, and as always, we'll apply it more in class.